Aha! We're there.
We're
Hey, it's
here.
Friday. Yeah.
We took over again, Rich.
Yeah, look at that. Mate, I told them we were going to pirate this thing, you know.
I know.
And we're going to get control, and I've got all the links now, and that's it. We're there, and we're even
look,
dressed
we're
the
matching.
Same. Hey, look at that. And just, well, I don't know about you, Jason, but I wear the pants in my house, but my wife tells me which ones to put on. And I was going to wear my my Violent Soho T-shirt, which is a band out of Australia, and they're really cool. And that Mandy goes, "You can't wear that; it's not professional." And she went and got me a shirt and said, "Put this on." So
there you go. Yeah.
Snap. Yeah. Anyway, happy Friday. Woo!
Wow, happy Friday, man! Happy Friday! Big game coming up on Sunday.
Mate. And this is the Super Bowl. Look at that! I've got got the football out, ready to go. Very excited. While I've always, I'm from New Zealand, so we don't have a lot of Super Bowl activity in New Zealand, but I did always sort of manage to catch it because on that Monday there was always the Air Force guys for Operation Deep Freeze would stay at the same place where I was golf and live near in Christchurch, and they would shut down the whole place for Super Bowl Monday as it is over there. And they partied hard every year. They go big. So I did have an appreciation for the Super Bowl before being here, but I'm really excited about this one. And I've been following
I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I think, and the Super Bowl is a great match, great occasion. Yeah. I think one of the most viewed sporting, if not the most viewed sporting event on the planet. So it gets a lot of eyeballs, but I think the Taylor Swift factor has added another dimension. Definitely. There's got to be some pretty happy sponsors out there.
The Swifties are coming out, man.
Yeah. So anyway, I digress, which I do a lot of, and Jason and I, Richie, we're your co-hosts for this week's live show. Tom, a little bit under the weather. He's had a bit of a strep throat all week, and so to stand and talk for an hour was going to be a bit taxing for him. So we took the keys off him again, and you're stuck with us. But we're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about some really interesting things, celebrate some great wins in our community. And generally just have a good old Friday afternoon and get ready for the Super Bowl this weekend.
Sounds good to me, man. Let's kick it off.
Let's kick it off.
It's time. The moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Oh, that's massive. Hang on. Can we hear anyone there?
Nobody's cheering for him?
Oh, there it is. Look at that. Wow. They're fired up. Yeah. They're fired up. We're on to go.
A little delayed there.
Anyway, I'll shut them off because obviously we've got to get back to it and everything else. That. Hey, welcome everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, Jason, great to be here with you and having successfully hijacked the show again. So
we're missing the three amigos, man. We're missing Norm. Where's he at?
Well, that's a good point. I reckon he's obviously pretty busy. I know he's got a lot going on with his agency. He's the work that guy does in Remote Millionaires. Take my hat off to him. His work rate is just through the roof, much like yours, Jason. I know, and all the other coaches in Remote Millionaires as well. I know Laura is just packed full. Lucy, everyone is flat out busy in Remote Millionaires because we've got a lot of people in Remote Millionaires who are just taking action and just doing things. And there's so many good wins coming out of it. It's just incredible. So I know that pleases you. It pleases me as well. There's nothing more enjoyable than seeing a member go from here to there and follow process and have wins. And it's fantastic. I love it every day.
Selfishly, that's what I say, man. Every day, selfishly, I get so much fulfillment out of it. So it's cool. It's a lot of fun.
Good times. Yeah. So, but look, I'm going to put you on the spot and everyone else as well. Hey, if you're logged in to the show on Facebook and that, make sure you give StreamYard the permission, and then we can see who you are. Otherwise, we kind of miss over who it is, and it's great to connect with everyone there. But hey, look at that. Shelley, Doug. Jacqueline over the pond. Yeah, Dawn. I mean, there's no party without punch. Yeah. So absolutely brilliant to have everyone joining us for a Friday chit chat, chin wag, and it's some Super Bowl predictions.
Yeah.
I don't know you, Jason. I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, no, I think so too. I think it's going to be a real good game. So yeah, I'm excited. Mostly excited for the food, but definitely excited for the game too.
Well, that's one thing that I've learned to appreciate in the States. And we had Thanksgiving, obviously, back in November. And I always thought Thanksgiving was like, I didn't really understand it. And man, it is all about the food, you know. So when America, when you have a party, it's about the food, you know. Where I come from, it's more about the drink, you know. So and less about the food. But I think the food part of it is much more enjoyable. And I found a new favorite of mine, which is sweet potato with marshmallow. I mean, that's two food groups that you'd never put together in New Zealand or Australia, and over here, and you think that's got to be weird. It's the nicest thing ever. I love it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. So, hey, James has joined us as well. Tim, yeah, it's great to have everyone here. How's your week been, Jason?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been good. Been busy. Lots of calls. You know, just hashing away, just solving problems. Like I say, I'm the digital firefighter. So I just putting out digital fires all day long. You know, so that's my job. That's what I do.
Yeah. And look, at every turn. I mean, I think I've been really lucky this week. We've connected every day this week, and been working through some stuff. I know we're working through some pretty exciting stuff as well. So there'll be a lot more to come from that in the next few weeks. And I know you're grinning, and I'm grinning as well, because what has been developed and everything else that is very, very exciting. So I don't want to preempt too much. You know, you're not allowed to let the cat out of the bag. These things are done in a process. So that's great. But there's some very, very exciting stuff coming up. What else? I think, man, I've had the biggest week from in Remote Millionaires, in my own agency business here in the States. Found some real traction there this week. I haven't posted in the shout outs and wins yet, because these things, there are contracts to be signed, and when those contracts come back, I will be shouting from the rooftops. But needless to say, it's pretty big and pretty exciting. And my wife, look, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but my wife has been going through a job process for a new role, and that confirmation came through this morning. So I think there's 5 or 6 interviews out of over 800 people apparently, and so I'm super proud of her, and that's so it's been a big week here in the what I call the South 17th Massive, where I live. It's our community in East Nashville here, and it's been a big week. So good times. Well,
cool, man. So
shall we do first? I think we should probably on that. Have you got anything to add to that, Jason? How's what's happened this week, mate? You hit any big wins?
Yeah, I mean, we've got several big wins in the agency. Let's see here. What is the biggest thing? So one of the biggest things I guess I can kind of talk on is we're really looking to expand what we're doing in AI. Artificial intelligence. So we're doing a lot of stuff with voice, with text bots, like chat bots, AI chat bots, that sort of thing. So using lots of different channels. So using everything from SMS to Facebook message to Instagram message, Google Business Chat, those types of things. So deploying chat bots for all these different channels. But yeah, the real exciting thing is really coming in AI voice, and kind of the progression in the technology there. And we're kind of experimenting with a couple of clients that are looking to utilize that technology. So
awesome.
I geek out on this stuff. I'm all about the AI stuff. I love everything AI. So it's really fun for me. It's really fun to be able to put together these different packages using that technology, and to solve real world problems, for clients. So
that's
pretty cool stuff.
and an interesting area to focus on, and especially for existing agencies, is hey, looking towards this stuff, because if your customers are saying we want access to this resource, and they've got no point to start at with it, and that you be the answer to that, and I think it's a case of you learn as you go. You're not going to come into it as an expert in all those fields, but you've got to start with something. And I've been, as you know, working on my AI chatbots and rebuilding my agency websites, and that to incorporate that technology. I think as far as a driver of conversion goes, second to none. And you just got to keep up with it. So,
it's going to be huge. I mean, whether you talk to some people, a lot of people hate it. Some people love it. But either way, like, the technology's coming. It's here. It's going to become commonplace. It's coming for your customers. It's going to be a part of our everyday life, whether we like it or not. And so I've kind of taken the approach of embracing the technology and really trying to learn it, understand it, and apply it, in business. And I think that there's going to be a real big gold rush, for lack of a better term, in that space over the coming couple of years, because there's going to be lots of organizations, especially larger organizations, even smaller companies too. They're going to want to kind of dip their toe and adopt some of this technology. And let's face it, technology, like the tools to do all these things, they're not necessarily the easiest, most, user-friendly tools. It's like handing somebody, a giant, tool chest and saying, hey, use this. These are all the tools you need to go build a house, and then go build a house. Well, okay, I got the tools, but I don't know how to build a house. I don't even know where to start, So it's the same type of thing. Like, we got all these amazing AI tools, but nobody really has really cracked the code on how do we take this amazing technology and actually deploy it in the real world that makes sense for local business and even for larger companies. So I think there's a lot to happen there. So I'm excited.
Dawn has just chimed in with exactly non-profits with huge in AI tech because they can't get volunteers. Well, you're replacing a human function with an automatic function, but even that extends to I would say your solo tradesmen, plumbers, those kind of things that they work on their own and say, I haven't got time for that and everything else. That, hey, if it's going to convert customers for you and you don't have to be on the phone doing it, you can be actually making money at the same time. That's a valuable thing for a guy that's a one-man band. So there's so many uses for it that will come in. And I think there's negativity around, AI, it's bad, and all those things and that. Hey, when cars came out, they thought that they were bad and everything else, and there's so many things that have come along. Everyone's going, oh no, it's going to ruin everything and stuff, because people are change resistant. But at the end of the day, things gain momentum. If you're a business that 20 years ago, so I don't need a website, we don't need that, and you haven't got a website today, you're not online at all, nobody knows about you. That's the reality. So I think the same thing, customer communication is going to be a case of, hey, if I can just say what I want to my computer, or as I can with my TV on YouTube, I just say, search for this, and it goes and does it. Those are great uses of technology, because it saves me with the remote trying to type it in and stuff, and then you go, I made a mistake, and you lose it, and So these things they enhance our lives, and they're great inventions, and I don't think we should be scared of it. I mean, the machines are going to take over one day, regardless. Terminator was obviously a real look into the future.
I'm trying to get ahead of the curve. I'm trying to get ahead of the game before it happens.
Yeah. Well, and maybe the machines will favor us more favorably in the ultimatum, because we were embracing it to start with. So anyway, I waffle and digress. Shall we go and have a look and see who's poked their head up with a good win this week, and maybe do some.
Let's do it. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. Let's go there.
Yeah, hang on. Let me take. Oh, there we are. He's up there. Eisner. Well, that's a name we've seen before. Hey, Scott Meisner. I mean, this guy just blows me away. I think did he do 1 million postcards last year? if he didn't do 1 million, I know he's definitely doing 1 million this year. But his numbers are just, I mean, they're just staggering what he's doing.
9 areas quarterly. That's a big job. That's huge.
Yeah. Massive. And look, the guy goes from strength to strength. And I think, talking about today's topic as well, Scott has systems and accountability and measures built into his business, and he's executing it and doing it very, very well at a very, very high standard too. So, he's a benchmark member. I really, really feel he is that. And obviously an RM member as well. He just goes and does it. Every single thing I see from Scott is always wonderful to see, and he's a real action taker, and he's an expert in what he's doing. He's just I've lent on him for so much advice over the last couple of years. He's really knowledgeable, really good. So congratulations, Scott. You're a trooper. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Joanne. Another name, man. She just keeps popping up. It's funny. I talked to Joanne today, and she's just crushing it. It's so fun. Like it's fun because we've been she's been part of the RM family now for a while. I've been a part of her journey. I know you have too, Richie. And it's just, again, going back to just selfishly, just getting excited about, these wins that these students are having. And it's just so fun to see the growth that she's had since she joined the program. It's just really cool. And congratulations, Joanne.
Just like Scott as well, such a lovely person to go with it. Totally. So you enjoy talking to Joanne, interacting with her. Her enthusiasm and her positivity just speaks boundless volumes, and I love seeing the fact she, so I almost feel like she pops up every other day with another one. And I look, even myself, I sort of sit and go, oh man, like she's always winning, and she always getting these things and stuff like that. And they're not all $20,000 deals. There's a lot of $400 and $500 deals, and even the odd $200 and $1,600, those things. But she's got consistency going on because she keeps on taking action. Yeah. And I love the fact, and I've even incorporated this into my trainings in RM especially the last 6 weeks, is about how your reach machine, which obviously you and I are pretty passionate about, maybe even a little biased. It does a great job of opening that door and getting traction. But the other half, and this is a leaf I took out of Joanne's book, is the need to also not just rely on that as one prospecting method. Getting out, networking, meeting people is the way that you bring a whole lot together, and that creates so much more momentum. And Joanne shows that quite clearly, Oh yeah. So yeah, congratulations, Joanne. Absolutely wonderful. Another one. Oh yeah. yeah. Another one of our Shark Alliance members, and Donna, just picks up on things, just goes out and gets it done, and gets the wins associated, with it as well. So, that database reactivation, review response, and social posts on 2 platforms, $2,000 a month, all automated and fulfilled with high level, looking to upsell Facebook ads at a separate price once he sees success.
Wow.
Man, that's huge.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is massive. Congratulations, Donna.
That is huge, and it's wonderful to see. You put those kind of customers together. Something similar comes in next month, and the month after. You're very busy before you know it, aren't you? So that's just awesome.
I mean, $2,000. I mean, geez, that's a fantastic
solid number.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to be the one to get this name wrong, but Abuka. Abuka. Well, I'm gonna, if I've got your name, if I've mispronounced it, I do apologize. Finished up with another website redesign project. Is that $300?
It looks like 300 to me.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, redesign and stuff and that. Hey, not all wins have to be $20,000 jobbies. A win is a win, and you never know what that's going to flow onto as well. But as we build our agencies, those are the stepping stone things that you've just got to do them, get them done, and then the bigger and bigger stuff comes along later on. I was going to say the bigger and better, but you know what?
It's all green, Rich, and it spends the same. So 300, whether it's 300 or 3,000, it's still green.
Yeah, yeah. So that is wonderful, and
that's a solid win. That's fantastic.
Absolutely, well done. and another name pops up, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Another Shark Alliance member as well. Picked up one new free listing and sold coupon placement. Yeah, that's the way to go. Upsell other things, Also closed a large B2B e-com site upgrade and retheme from an existing client.
Nice.
Fantastic. That's and look at that, existing client, another job. And that's the thing about building an agency successfully is just you'll keep on finding opportunity. And well done, Jeremy. That's awesome.
Well, we forget about that sometimes, like some of the easiest deals are sitting right in our laps. You know what I mean? Like existing clients, right? They already know you, they like you, they trust you. They've already spent money with you. I mean, it's a perfect place to go fishing,
Well, and as they always say, Jason, it's much easier to sell to a customer you've sold to before than it is to go and find a new one. Yeah. So that's the idea. Keep those relationships going and keep on moving forward. And I mean, you think about, you're just talking about AI chatbots and the likes and stuff and that. I can think of probably 20 customers that I could go to with a good reputation and having delivered for them before, and just say, if you don't put this on your website now, you're going to be faced with doing it later. Yeah. And the sooner you start, the better it's going to be. So that's the thing. Keep on working and keep working the book and keep that network alive. Chandra picked up two new website sales, one redesign and one with the other digital and one with other digital services, 1,250. Cha-ching! Nice. Yeah, awesome. That is just fantastic. And, thank you. My eyes terrible. Even I've got new glasses, mainly because I was wearing another set. I broke my favorite pair, and Mandy said, you can't wear those glasses. They make you look like an old man. And I went, well, I am 50. I'm getting on, But so she made me buy a new pair of glasses. But I'm not convinced these are the right ones yet. They're not sporty enough. They make me look like I read too many books. Yeah. So anyway, enough about me, Chandra. That is a fantastic win, and congratulations. Thanks for posting it as well. That's the number one thing. We can't congratulate people and celebrate success if you don't tell us about it. So thank you very much. Who else we got in there?
That's a
Devinda and Nick. Wow, this is a great. So it's a wins dump. Oh, I love wins dumps. These are fantastic. And look, we've seen a lot of activity from these guys going to the late half of last year, November, December. They seem to be just getting stuff left, right, and centre. What's that? A $1,500 website, $100 a month maintenance. Good, nice upsell. Yep. $150 for menu design for a restaurant. Yeah, great. And doing free SEO, which means they see the benefit of that, and that's an ongoing sale as well. $2,000 new website for a singer, performer, artist. Great, very, very interesting niche. $1,500 website redesign for a long-term client. Brilliant. $500 a month for the next 5 months for social media management, and a $2,000 website design for a butcher shop, meat market. I've done a bit of work with a butcher and those things and that, and I found the biggest drawback I had with working with a butcher and meat is that meat is just not sexy. It is very difficult to make raw meat look pretty online, but the cooked version looks great. It was a bit of a balance, but it's look at that for a wide range of niches, markets, topics, and stuff and that. But the underpinning thing, they've really got that website design, redesign stuff and that dialed in as a lead service. So congratulations, guys. That is fantastic. Well done. Very cool. Anybody else? Oh, we got here's Nick. Nice. Never heard of him. MPM. Nick Ponte, but look, I see Nick actually posted in the Facebook group earlier on today, apologising for being remiss and not everything like that. New dad, he's got lots of things on the go and is prioritising time. And I know that he's got a fantastic team at Nick Ponte Marketing they are really just hitting the straps and going great guns. And it doesn't surprise me the results that are coming through. And look at that new Google Ads SEO client, 3.2. That's and they've been part of their AGM site and has been getting outreach emails. So I think that's what he's saying there is it's a long-term customer, someone that they've and that's that long-term nurture that brings them to the table with a considerable spend as well. So
right.
I think I can clearly make the assumption it's 3.2 a month in what they're doing. That's fantastic. Upsold an existing client to an additional 7,800 monthly marketing setup. Wow, that's massive. 7,800 a month. Man, I'd like to get me one of those. Yeah, that's again, but look at that upsell existing client, reworking it, and absolutely brilliant. Outbound prospecting brought in 2,000 a month Google Ads retainer plus 250 landing page from an estate liquidation company. Another interesting niche. That is massive, absolutely massive.
Right.
Is that the total for it, or have we got more? Oh, look at that! Wow,
in total
25,641. That's I think we've pretty much just doubled the dollars so far this year in 1 week. I think there's and that is something that I think there's just momentum starting to be created amongst the space. I know we came into January thinking, we're gonna get slammed, it's gonna get real busy. But it seemed to be the very end of January, that last week of January, the first week of February, is when everyone's kicked into gear and going, right, I'm gonna hit this year hard and get onto it. So that is just brilliant, and means that sharks are taking action. And when there's sharks in the water,
January felt just kind of sluggish, kind of slow, right?
Yeah.
And but February, I feel like everybody's on fire, man. Everybody's just hitting it hard right now.
Yeah,
really cool.
And you know what? Excuse me. Let's talk about why that is, and maybe it's a case of we all went through a bit of planning. We said, in January we're sitting there going, okay, what am I going to do this year? And how am I going to put that into my business? And we started laying out the plan and getting underway. And I know that's certainly what I did. And I went into December, went into Christmas with a thorough review of 2023 and set up my goals and expectations for 2024. And I used a very good planning tool that came from Shark Alliance. So that was of great benefit to me. But I went through the things that you do to do that planning, and I had to start off with my goals and expectations, and then sort of work from there. And then I've needed to bring in more accountability structure to what I'm doing in my business. And I find there's a number of areas where I get my accountability from. The biggest one that I get it from is Remote Millionaires. There are peers and there are members that they keep you on track and they keep me focused in doing what I'm doing. What do you think? Is it the same for you, Jason? Is it different? How do you look at that?
I mean, that leads right into our topic, right, of today. Building your accountability network and how that plays into your success. And I think that's huge. You and I can kind of touched on this before the call. You and I were kind of talking, and one of the things that came up was, your network. Who you surround yourself with, and I think that is a huge part of it. Really surrounding yourself with people who are at the stage in business with their agency, in their life, right? All these different things that they're at that stage in their life and their business that you want to be at, right? And aligning with those people, surrounding yourself with those types of people. And, this community is one of those ways that you can do that. You can do that through the Facebook group, through Shark Alliance, through RM. We've got various different communities where we do just that. But, like Richie said, we practice what we preach. We ourselves, even in our own business, are doing the same things, right? So what is Doran saying here?
If any Shark Alliance members need an accountability partner, I'm your huckleberry. And I know that. And look, Dawn keeps me on the straight and narrow with many things, and I tell you, the one thing I really appreciate about Dawn is that he doesn't sugarcoat it. He tells you what it is, and I find that's the kind of accountability and that feedback that I need. I don't need to be led down the garden path on something. I just need to tell me what it is, and if it doesn't, you think it's going to suit me, that's something that I need to deal with, but getting straight answers from people that really know, I find that's a big factor for me and keeping me on track with things, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in the side topics and everything else. But then I've got a team, and I'm continuing to build that team as well. And accountability is something that I've been really working on for a while now, about making everyone accountable as one. That we me is what we call it from back home, and it's it can be we is we achieve me goals together. And if you're going to go on your own, you're never going to get as much as you can by having a good team of people that are pulling in the same direction. So that's great to know. And Dawn, I think you'll wind up with a lot of requests coming your way. Particularly, there's some great things in Shark Alliance, and there's it's a fantastic program for getting involved and getting feedback directly from other people who are very much in the same situation that you're in. Maybe have some traction, maybe have no traction, but I've always found Shark Alliance to be something that is a community within the community. And again, we have another community in Remote Millionaires, but to point the two differences out, the main difference between those two things, Shark Alliance is a place where you are finding traction and getting your feet. Remote Millionaires is a place that's like an acceleration. It's a lot of resources brought to bear at one time, and real action steps and everything else. And that REM is a very good environment if you come into it and go, right, I've got to get this done, and I've got this time frame to do it, and you buckle down and get away. And everyone in Remote Millionaires has done that. Man, the success is just huge, But Shark Alliance does the same thing. It's like, hey, I want to get this sorted out. I'm going to do it in the next 4 weeks. And you can find those resources and those people in there to keep you on track. So, yeah.
Wow. I think, with accountability, it's, there's a few things that kind of come to my mind. I think first and foremost, getting I think another topic you and I kind of touched on was getting really clear on what your goals are. What do you really want to achieve? Really getting clear on what those are. But I think, so many people talk about goal setting, and so many people say this same thing. But I don't think what's talked about enough is really kind of the why behind it. I know some people do touch on this, but I think really what gets you out of bed in the morning, what's going to drive you forward? Because let's face it, we're all human, and we have those days. We have really tough days where we're just like, we don't want to do it, right? Regardless of what it is. Like we don't want to make the calls. We don't want to send the emails. We don't want to talk to anybody. Sometimes we just want to crawl back in bed and just shut the world out, And it's really that why factor, that driving why, that really will allow you to push through in those moments where you just don't have that drive, right? So I think getting clear on the goals, getting clear on your actual why, I think is really, really important. And then again, like we said, surrounding yourself with like-minded people, whether that's virtually through, different communities like this, whether that's in person, whatever it is. I think those are really, really important things to build on. And then, having an accountability.
And that's the support structure, yeah. That is very much the support structure that we need to. You got to build into your agency business, and around you as well. And that's in life. That support structure can be family and friends and other things. In an agency business, that support structure can be the knowledge group that you go to and contribute to. Can be the people that are in your team. You're developing. There's a number of ways to bring that structure into your business. But you've got to know the direction you're going in to start with.
Right. Yeah. So, and I'd say the next part to that is, what are you measuring? What are you measuring your success? How are you measuring your success? So it's not just important to have those goals, that support system, and have the accountability, but it's also important to reflect, to look back and say, okay, where did we go right? Where did we go wrong? Like, what do we need to work on? What's working? What's not working? Having that system in place to where you can reflect. And it's something that I like to do on a weekly basis. I like to reflect. Sundays are my reflection day. I like to look back on the previous week and look at, okay, what went right this week? Where did we kind of get off track? Where do we need to get back on? Why did we fall off track? What's working, what's not, and I think that's really, really important, making sure that you take the time and not doing it once a month or once a quarter. But I've found that doing it weekly really keeps me on track for making sure that I hit those monthly goals, that I hit those quarterly goals. If I let too much time pass, you get too far off the course. And then it's so hard to course correct and get myself back on track. So I think that weekly accountability, reflection, looking back over, making sure that you are making the progress that you're set forth to make, right?
Yeah, and I agree. And I try to, I go and I plan by quarters, but 30 days, 90 days, 180 days. And it's really important for me to get to the end of that 30-day period and make sure that I've reviewed it thoroughly. I'm very good at having a list of things to do every day and crossing things off and then redeploying them to the next day or later in the week if that's going to get that done. But you know what? I'm really quite slack when I get to the end of the week about sitting down and reviewing that week and those things. So go, oh well, I know I've done that, and I know I've got these things next week. But it's that dedication to that process that really does keep you going forward. I know Laura Thompson, one of our coaches in Remote Millionaires, gave me the best advice ever about a year ago in how I should structure my workday. And I said, I'm spending 8 hours or 10 hours at my desk in front of the computer, and I'm chewing through jobs and everything else, but I'm not being productive. And Laura gave me this tip, and I don't mind sharing it because it's a real pro tip, as I say, in that, she said, okay, so if you've got something to complete and you know that you're productive for 45 minutes of every hour, right, then the 6 to 8 things that you put down for the day, right, then you have that task. So at 9 a.m., I sit down at my desk, and if I need to be clearing messages and emails and stuff before that, I sit down at 8:30 and I go through and I do that. And then at 9 a.m., I go into the first task of the day and I do nothing but work on that task until it's finished. And if I finish that task at 9:35 and then go, right, I'm going to go and get my third cup of coffee. And so I go away and I do that and have a rest for 10, 15 minutes. I might come back and I get that 10-minute window of like, well, I can catch up on some more chat, some messages, make sure the team's doing what they're supposed to be doing and stuff like that. And then at 10 a.m., I roll into the second task. And if it was a task I've allocated 40 minutes for and I get it done in 20 minutes, then I might move on to the third task and get that done as well. But I stop myself every hour. I finish the task and I stop and I get up and I go away from my desk. I take my glasses off and I clear my head. And that has been the most productivity in doing things. But it's also helped me to achieve the things I'm trying to get done. And when you do that consistently, week in, week out, for that 30-day window, and then I do it and build it out for 90 days, that quarter, then I'm monitoring and tracking my results. My accountability is so much greater than it was when I was just working through a list and trying to get all these jobs done and clear the post-it notes and the whiteboards and all those things. So that's one of the accountability measures I've put in place for myself. And I find when I get away from the system, things don't happen the same way. Things start breaking down very fast. You've got to kind of be very, very fastidious about it and just keep on doing it exactly that way. And all of a sudden you get to the end of the week and you tick it off, So that, is a wee pro tip I share on behalf of Laura, who's made a huge difference in my business. Yeah,
she's great. All the coaches are great, but yeah, she's got a lot of her advice, her systems are just rock solid, Yeah. And I totally agree with that. I think, taking time, what is it called? Pomodoro? Is that the term, the Pomodoro clock? Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't heard of that.
Pomodoro method. Yeah. So it's essentially like this idea of I think it's like 20 minutes or 25 minutes of like straight focus, and then 5-minute breaks in between. And it's this idea of just like, like these sprints, these like fast sprints of really dedicated focus to complete a task, and then taking the time to just disconnect, like you said, walk away from your desk, go outside, whatever, play with the dog, like just disconnect for just a few minutes, and then dive back in and take on another 20 to 25-minute task at a time. So yeah, I've experimented with that, and it definitely helps. It definitely helps when you've got a lot of tasks that need to get done.
Well, and I know but as part of the planning exercise for this year was something that Dawn created in Shark Alliance, and it's going through that 30-day, 60-day, 90-day quarterly planning and review, and actually documenting it all out and stuff. And to be fair, I did a pretty good basic job of it going into Christmas. I've certainly got this quarter mapped out, and I know exactly what I'm doing this quarter. But I've got more work to do for the other quarters this year. There's another 3 quarters I've got to really focus on. I know where the big points are throughout this year. I've already planned those out, and that's great. But that's another thing, is you don't just sit down in one day and knock out your planning for the year. And the review of things and the refining of things is a big part of setting it up so you've got the structure and the accountability to go with it. So not something there, but we do have. There is a promo, unusual, I know, and I will. Oh, there it is. Look at that. So yeah, we actually have a bit of a deal on for Shark Alliance. It's only $1, and I don't know about you, Jason, but $1 is pretty accessible, pretty generous. Yeah. It's for entry into Shark Alliance. If you haven't been involved, it gives you a taste of it for a month. For $1. So you come along, see what it's like. You're definitely going to get something out of it. I can guarantee that, hand on heart, because the Shark Alliance coaching calls are varied by nature, but they're very specific in things that you really need to be picking up on, and the resource that's available in there, it is second to none. So yeah, I would suggest that's a great idea, and I know that closes tomorrow. So so if you've got $1, that would be worth hopping into. I mean, there's no obligation there, but try it out for $1, and I think you'll find once you're in that Shark Alliance and you're getting more of those resources and everything else as well. Plus the fact that it's a great community. There's so many cool people in there, and I love interacting with them. But I also know from another one of the I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon. There is some really cool stuff coming up with Shark Alliance. I've been working with Dawn over the last week. We're putting something pretty special together inside of Shark Alliance that we will have more information for you when it's really fleshed out and done properly, and we can announce it. But I'm pretty excited about it, because I think this is something where a lot of aspiring agency owners, this is going to be something that really adds significant value in a very short space of time. And you'll walk away with tangibles. Not just having watched a few videos. There's more to it than that, and I'm pretty excited by it. And I know Dawn and I've been talking through it and stuff, and that we're pretty excited to do it. So that is around the corner. So it's a great time to hop into Shark Alliance, and as I say, for only $1, man, I've wasted more money this week on things that I don't get any value out of at all.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, it's a killer deal. I definitely recommend anybody who's on the fence, spend the $1, get in there and see how much value is in there, because it's unbelievable how much value you'll get out of that for the next month. So definitely worth the $1 that you'll spend.
And look, there's so many other things that it does as well. I mean, dog training, health, alternative therapies. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Dawn, you crack me up. Yeah. So, hey, look, just to cover off a bit more about today's and that, I think one of the starting points I had with looking at my year ahead and planning out and setting goals and expectations was the first part I break down is envisioning my business. Or what is my business now? Where do I want it to be in 12 months' time? So, getting that right in your head at the start, setting the groundwork, the platform, and then getting into that planning, breaking down that vision into the goals that are needed to get there. And then the accountability side of it, by what am I going to do to track and measure my progress to those goals? And of course, building those personal support structures that go with that as well. So all of those four things, I think, wrap up into how to create accountability and structure that I can apply to my business. And I don't think you have to be like, you don't have to read 68 books to then go, right, I've got to get the science of this right and stuff and that put it in your language for you. It's what you understand and how you term things and everything else as well. So that is very much the basis of I think what we're talking about today, and that's very much how I look at it. I put it in my language, not in a book's language or the way that I think it should be written. I put it down so that I understand it because it comes from me.
Right. Yeah, great point. Yeah, totally agree with you.
Yeah. So there we go. For Shark Alliance Plus for $1 closes tomorrow. And yeah, I think you'd be surprised the access to things in there, including a bit of that planning stuff. We're in February. There's a lot of this year that can still be planned out, and a lot of stuff you can achieve between now and Christmas. That we're there. But hey, there's no harm in planning from March to March. That's you can do that as well. And you just go, right, I'm going to use the next 4 weeks to really set it up and get these things laid out. And on the 1st of March, I'm going to kick that in, and these are the processes I'm going to follow. So what a great opportunity to get into doing that. And Shark Alliance, good place to start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think, and taking action each and every day, I think, is really important. Making sure that you map into this, map it into your plan for accountability, that at some point in the day, whatever you can devote, whether it's 30 minutes, whether it's, an hour, whatever it is, like devoting at least some chunk of time every day to move the needle, right? Like Tom always says, to focus on the RPAs, the revenue producing activities, right? The sending of the email, the picking up the phone, sending text messages, whatever it is, doing some form of prospecting to continually move that needle forward, because really that's what's going to help you to achieve those goals ultimately, is making those small little incremental movements each and every day, and taking those small steps that wind up at the end of 30 days, at the end of 90 days, being giant steps, right? And without those small little movements every day, they wouldn't stack up to equal where you need to be in 90 days. So I think that's really, really important to keep that needs to be part of your plan. That needs to be a focus each and every day, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the difference between a plan and wants. I spent a long time in this business going, right, I want to get 10 customers that pay me $5,000 a month or more. That's what I want. But the plan in getting them is like, okay, well, the first part of that is, how am I going to get one? Because I can't get 10 until I've got one. So, and then how am I going to get to, and I think Nick Ponte pointed this out in a post over the last week or so, was, I think it was from last week's show, actually. You don't start off with $5,000-$10,000 a month customers. You just don't start at that level. So you've got to plan the road to getting there. And that's the thing. Envision your whole business, where you want that to be, and then start planning on, okay, what I'm going to do there. How many $300 websites do I have to do before I'm going to get to a $1,500 one? How many $1,500 ones do I do before I get to 3,000, et cetera, and planning that stuff out and putting structure around it is the way to start knocking things off. Because if you just have the big concept theory and everything else that goes with it, and the hypotheses, it's a big word for a Friday afternoon. So, you're kind of setting yourself up for disappointment and or failure. Even though your actions might not have been about failure, they've been good intentions and stuff and that. But having that precise thing you put down in your own language moves you towards it every single day. So I'm a bit slack about getting to the end of the day and wrapping up all of those things. I'm more inclined to come back the next morning and just go right out, done, bang, these are the things, the priorities for today. But I do have the intention at the start of every month, like these are the things we're working through. And I look at January, and January went pretty good. We got a number of big system things sorted out, and we've got, there's one major. I've got a really big blast coming up for one of my New Zealand sites, and we have built a list. It's one of the biggest lists we've ever built for our Reach machine. Certainly there, we're doing a complete reset of it and stuff. So I had that, it was supposed to go out this week, actually on Wednesday, and it was supposed to kick off, but I pushed it back by 2 weeks because it's going to be a better job done and it'll have a better result by making sure it's delayed for the right reasons. But it's not that it's fallen out of its whole sequence. It's still in the sequence. It's just that you have to adjust things as you go along. So, pretty excited by that. Cool.
Cool.
What else? Get the $1 deal. So you can attend the mastermind. Yeah, I'm just reading some comments and everything else. And I've got an idea. When I can find it. I do. Hang on. Here's an idea.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
It wouldn't be Friday without,
it wouldn't be Friday without giving away some money.
A few dollars and giving it away. And this week, our two lucky winners for going to the Facebook post and tagging and celebrating, congratulating our winners and our action takers this week. These two action takers here, Enrique, fantastic, and Jacqueline Heath, fantastic. Enrique Fernandez and Jacqueline Heath. So congratulations. Chuck in your Cash App thingy and stuff, and Shasham will hook you up with some dollars. You might be able to put a wee wager on the Super Bowl. Although I think what's a better bet is, will Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift get engaged this summer?
Yeah.
That is the question that everyone's really asking: are they going to get engaged? Yeah, and then make very, very pretty and successful babies. Yeah. So
we'll see. I don't know. Everybody keeps thinking that he's going to do it at the Super Bowl. I don't know.
Matt, what is that? That'd be 3 in a row for the Chiefs, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of puts them right up there, doesn't it? So it's I did see a stat on TV this morning or yesterday morning that Kansas City has more barbecue per head of population than anywhere else in the world. I thought that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that Kansas was that big in barbecue. I would have thought Texas, but Texas is the most populous state, so maybe that's why there's just more people, more barbecue there for less people,
Yeah.
So, got to get me up there and try some of them wings. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So, anyway,
I was just going to say we got tons of snow falling outside, so I'm getting real excited.
Oh, we've got the other version of snow here today.
Yeah?
The liquid one. Yeah, it's raining. Yeah, it's like snow without the cold. Yeah. So, I think it's pretty exciting. And so, are you having a party for the Super Bowl, or are you going to go somewhere?
You know what? I don't really know. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't think we've decided. I haven't even gotten a chance to talk to the wife yet and figure out what we're going to do. But it'll be one or the other. Yeah. Like I said before,
I'm going,
as long as there's food involved, I'm there.
Yeah. I'm heading to an Irish bar to watch the American football final, of course. So, what else would you do?
Right.
So, but the Irish bar is a client of mine, so that's why I go there.
Oh, you can write it off.
Yeah, always, every single trip is written off. So not necessarily the tax write-off way either. Yeah. So that is that's one there. So hey, Jason, really appreciate yourself coming along and today and helping me out, because I would have looked really silly as a lone bandit. So we wish Tom all the best. Hope you feel better soon.
Tom feels better.
Rest up, and you'll be laying off the cigars. I know that for a fact. So but rest up and I think everyone have a great weekend.
Yes, please be safe out there.
Go Taylor Swift's boyfriend.
All right, guys.
So everyone have a great one, and we will
see you next week.
I've got I'm finding my wrong things here. See you all soon. Take care. Take action. Make some money.
Yeah.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.